and gentlemen, it's championship boxing time. The officials have been appointed by the Central Area Council of the British Boxing Board of Control, whose steward in charge at ringside is Mr. Kurt Haslam. This is 8 3-minute rounds of boxing for the welterweight international challenge belt. Introducing to you firstly, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the red colour shorts trimmed with black and white. At the weight he scaled 10 stone, 8 pounds, 4 ounces. Tonight is his 30th professional appearance. Presenting from Sheffield, here is Nathan Hardy. And opposing him, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the black colour shorts trimmed with the gold spangled effect. At the weigh-in, he scaled 10 stone, 8 pounds, 2 ounces. His perfect, unblemished record this evening reads 6 contests, 6 wins. One of those wins coming by way of knockout, hailing from the Blundell camp via his hometown of Wigan. Here is the undefeated James Moorcroft. Timekeeping the bell, Phil Morris, referee in charge of the action. Anfield's finest, Mr. Mark Lyson, 8 3-minute rounds.
Okay, boys, follow the rules. I want you to obey my commands. Tell you to break cleanly, defend yourselves at all times, boys. Good luck to you both.
Professional boxer. And a big part of tonight is about him not getting carried away in the opening couple of rounds.
Yeah, as you say, sometimes when people come over from that different scene, they tend to get a bit carried away, but he's got to keep calm early, not get too carried away and just keep his composure and just bear in mind he's got an 8-round distance to play with. I remember we had Bobby sat with us recently, Bobby Rimmer. He had a fighter called Sean Crompton who came from the wrestling scene, and I think he did a bit of MMA. He turned over in 2007 in June against Ernie Smith, and he fought like Ernie Smith holding money. So sometimes the fighters come over and get a bit excited, but I don't think we're going to see that with Moorcroft. He seems like he's pretty level-headed, he's got a good trainer behind him, and I think he's going to put in a good performance tonight.
Yeah, he showed a lot of maturity so far in his career. You know, listening to instructions, boxing to instruction and getting the job done in there. And he seems to thrive on that longer distance. You know, the white-collar fights, they are short fights. But, you know, he stepped up to an 8-round contest, and he's happy with that, the longer distance. Gives him more time to work, land his shots.
Yeah, and he's only 25. He's still got time to learn. This is fight number 7. He's only had 1 stoppage win thus far. To be fair, his opponents have all had losing records, but he's learning on the job. His opponent tonight's got a losing record, but there's a title on the line, so that brings a bit of makes the fight a little bit different than previous ones.
Yeah, Nathan Hardy's one of these guys that he always comes and gives it a go as well. If you don't put him in his place early on, you're in for a tough night's work, and he could be a nightmare over 8 rounds. But Moorcroft started well here behind that jab. Throw him into head and body as well, which is good. And a nice right hand over the top.
Yeah, he switched that nice right hand there. It's a well-picked shot. Like you said, he put the jab out first and tried the right hand, and it landed right off the bat.
He just found his range nicely as well. Just when he throws that jab, it's landing every time.
And the thing with Moorcroft doing tickets, Steve could take him over to Wigan and put on the show in Wigan, and he might do 100 extra tickets on top of the 200 he usually does, so that's going to be a bonus for someone like Steve who relies on fighters going out and selling tickets for these shows.
Yeah, definitely, and he seems to have the skills to match it as well. You know, when he first turned pro in the VIP stable, he's just another one of these prospects that we have, you know, on the shows, but he's really catapulted himself onto the scene with a few performances recently.
And that tends to be what Steve does. He gives fighters an opportunity on bills like this. If they show glimmers of potential, he starts moving them through to maybe British title level, as we saw with fighters like Jamie Moore, and we've seen him moving an increasing number of fighters through to the world level as well. So Steve's got a good eye for talent, and we'll see something in Moorcroft to give him the opportunities he gives him.
You're just reddening above the left eye of Nathan Hardy already. That jab's really sharp from Moorcroft, isn't it? It's finding the target.
Oh yeah, and that one was almost an up jab as well, so it caught him by surprise.
And it's important to have variety in the jab as well, isn't it? When you throw it from different angles, different speeds, different power behind them.
Yeah, it's a good round from Moorcroft. Nathan Hardy boxed more like the guy from Laurel and Hardy in that one. He didn't really bring anything serious to the table. And as you say, he may have just clammed up a little bit in the first round and might see what he can bring in the second round.
And referee Mark Lyson just signalling to both corners there that little cut above Nathan Hardy's left eye was caused by a punch, wasn't a head clash. So he's got his eye on that one now as well. Really good start from Moorcroft. That'll be looking to carry on in a similar vein. It's important to get a good start in these 8 rounds, isn't it?
Yeah, ideally you want to win the first couple of rounds. If you've not done too many 8-rounders in the past, you might have a mid-round dip, which is only natural at some point. We've not seen that so far tonight, but just getting the first 2 rounds under your belt just means that you can maybe take a round off midway through and come through strong in the later rounds.
Yeah, he's settled into this bout nicely anyway, Moorcroft.
And obviously Moorcroft's coming after the Dale Coyne performance, which was a pretty much perfectly executed performance of how to take care of someone inside the distance in an 8-round fight. So you might have heard word of that and wants to come out and do a bit of one-upmanship on this fellow VIP fighter.
And it's difficult for a fighter, isn't it? You know, the first 8-rounder he's having. Subconsciously in the back of his mind, there's always a bit of doubt about the longer distance. Obviously he's done it in the gym and he knows he can do it, but until you've done that distance under the lights with people watching, there's always that little bit of doubt in there.
Yeah, you're always going to have that. You can look at a neighbourhood on a map, but when you're walking through the streets of that neighbourhood, it's a totally different experience. So they prepare themselves for 8 rounds and they train for 10 or 12 rounds, but being under the lights with that nervous energy maybe before the fight as well, it does take its toll on you. But saying that, Moorcroft's again very composed in this round.
He just switches stances as well for a little moment, boxing from a southpaw stance.
And even though he's created a bit of a cut on Hardy's eye, he's not tried to target it too much, although he lands with right hand, bang on it just as I speak.
He's thrown that a few times in the past few fights that we've seen, that chopping right hand over the top, punching down on his opponent when they dip the legs a little bit. Nice shot from Hardy landing though. Moorcroft responded, but you can see from the way that Nathan Hardy's boxing, he's not just tucking up and here to take part. He wants to win this fight.
Yeah, he landed a good right hand to the head, then followed it up with a right hand to the body and has tried it again since. So those 2 shots landing may have given him a little bit of confidence boost.
A little bit lazy from Moorcroft. Just, oh, what a shot that is! The right hand straight down the middle and Hardy's touched the canvas. He bounced straight back up, but what a shot that was. He set it up nicely with a little feint of the jab, and then the right hand came straight through the guard.
And he stayed calm, Moorcroft. He's still conserving his punches, so I think he's looking to maybe finish it with a big shot this round.
Yeah, and Hardy's just throwing wild shots now.
There's exactly 30 seconds left in the round, so it may just be the case that Moorcroft sees what he can do in the next 15 seconds, and that's a big barrage at the start of the next round.
It's not very often Nathan Hardy hits the canvas though, so there's obviously a lot of power behind Moorcroft shots. Oh, a lovely right hand again. Yeah, and we said earlier, you've got to hit these guys with some shot and let them know that there's not a chance they can win tonight, and Moorcroft has certainly done that in that second round. And it's also given him a lot of room to manoeuvre as well now. You know, we've got 6 rounds left, but he's already 3 points up on the cards.
Yeah, he's just had a nice 10-8 round. As we can see here in the replay, he's popping the jab, looking to open things up. And as you say, it was just a perfect shot to put his opponent down.
And he picked the shot nicely as well. He didn't just throw the right hand for the sake of it and it landed. Luckily, he was sending it up with that jab all through the opening 2 rounds, and then when it landed, it exploded on Hardy's chin.
And as you say, Hardy did well to get up. It's not often that he goes down, so it's a bit of a new scenario for him. But Moorcroft's going to look to put a big push, I'd say, at the start of the next round. And he might just put in enough of a controlled performance and see if he can score enough of a knockdown. And there it was, clean as a bell.
And don't think it hurt Hardy too much. It was one of them, he bounced straight back up from it. But it certainly shows there's a lot of power behind Moorcroft's shots. And immediately, Moorcroft's on the front foot, putting the pressure on Hardy.
Yeah, he's probably looking to build on the success of that last round. He might just have a minute where he puts it on him and then cranks things back a little bit, thinking about the distance. Well, that was a nice right up to the body by Hardy as we speak.
Yeah, Hardy's throwing single shots, isn't he? But there's a lot of power behind them, and if they start to catch you could be in trouble. Moorcroft done well so far just to stay out of that range.
And again, enough of solid right hand to the head, and you can actually hear the impact of his shots when he lands to the head.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of power behind that right hand when he throws it over the top. He uses his whole body to throw it as well, it's not just an arm shot.
Yeah, he's settled down now, Moorcroft. He knows not to waste any punches there. He lands enough of right hand to the head as well.
Yeah, I've been impressed with that jab so far from Moorcroft. And there's real skill behind it when he throws it.
Yeah, and that's clearly the result of hard work in the gym, the stuff that people don't see, that you don't see behind the scenes, but you come to the fore if everything works well on fight night.
Oh, lovely right hand again, and Hardy's legs wobbled a little bit there.
Yeah, that's more of a chopping right hand, and it, as you say, had an effect on Hardy's legs.
And you can certainly see the shot that's going to finish this if Moorcroft can force a stoppage. And nice work off the jab again. I mean, the best part about this performance so far is that when he has landed that right hand, he hasn't got trigger happy with it and just thrown it. He still gets behind that jab and then picks the shot nicely.
Yeah, and I was just thinking I'd like to see him try the right uppercut, and I was thinking that he tried it, slipped a little one through, so Hardy's guard's wide open through the middle, so right uppercut could be the punch that really puts him down and out.
And you can hear Lee Blundell in the corner calling for Moorcroft to go downstairs.
And it's the right thing to do, because when he has landed shots, it has mostly been to the body with the right hand. He's landed the odd one to the head, but body seems to be his best opportunity.
Yeah, and the danger is when you get a knockdown from a headshot, you go head hunting a lot, but Moorcroft was getting success to the body as well. He needs to do that again.
He's reached with his jab a couple of times, but that's a minor quibble, or maybe something that is harkening back to his previous time on the unlicensed scene. But you can clearly see the concentration etched across his face, so he thinks about what he's doing in there and wants to do an impressive job.
Yeah, he has picked his shots nicely so far. And that's another round in the bank for me. And I think you'd find it hard to score it any other way. You see on the replay there, straight away, it's that jab that's causing a lot of the damage. It's creating those openings for him.
Yeah, he's popping the jab. He's looking to see if anything comes off the back of the jab, and when it doesn't, and he shows a little bit of good defence there by just moving his chin slightly away from the oncoming fire. That right uppercut there, you could not really call it an uppercut. It wasn't really controlled. It was more like a wild swing, but if you can tighten that uppercut up, it might actually land it as the rounds go on.
Yeah, and they're calling for that right hook to the body. It had some success in the first couple of rounds, and he neglected the body a little bit in that last session. And Moorcroft set a good pace in there as well. He seems comfortable with the pace that he set.
Yeah, and the key thing, like you said, is he's the one setting the pace. When you're fighting at a pace like you set, it's much more comfortable for you. The problem someone like Vladimir Klitschko had in some of the early fights when he lost was that he was fighting at his opponent's pace, and it took a lot out of him. But if you're controlling the pace, chances are you can fight at that pace all night. So Hardy needs to do something to try and knock Moorcroft out of his groove, but it just doesn't look like he's got anything in his arsenal that would allow him to do that.
No, everything he's throwing is in single shots, isn't it? There's no combinations that he can put together.
And there you see a nice 1-2 by Moorcroft, and that's the difference between them really. Moorcroft can actually pin stuff together and thread it through the guard.
Yeah, and then when he's throwing it, he just gets out of range, so nothing comes back from Hardy. He doesn't take any unnecessary shots.
Another good jab there by Moorcroft. This time on the move as well, so we're showing that he can actually box and jab on the back foot.
Yeah, still like to see him throw a little bit more to the body though. A bit more variety in his shots. You mentioned Hardy's guard earlier, but he's wide open, isn't he? To both head and body. But you've got to have variety. You can't keep looking for the same shot.
Yeah, as you say, Moorcroft had to neglect the body work, which was paying dividends earlier in the fight. So maybe he'll go back to the corner and they'll tell him again to get back on the spade work and start digging down to the body.
Yeah, he's just still trying to chop that right hand down every time he has the chance, instead of picking the correct shot.
And the way of the world is if Moorcroft lands a right hand in the next 30 seconds to the head, that lays him out. It'll say it was all done to perfection. But as you say, thinking about the distance, he's got to go a couple more body shots. He's tried the right uppercut a couple of times, so maybe try and turn that right uppercut to the head into a right uppercut to the body to try and get some success.
Yeah, the uppercut seems to be the only punch that Hardy's reading, really. Moorcroft really winds up with it. It's not a short, sharp one. He loops it under the guard, and Hardy's able to just move his feet and get out of the way of it.
That's a nice left hook, come almost a jab come left hook on the move there from Moorcroft, which was a nicely picked reactive shot.
Good defence as well, and with his back to the rope. It's been a good performance from Moorcroft so far, don't get me wrong. We're being a little bit critical of him this round, but he is getting the job done in there, and that's the main thing.
And his head movement is quite good as well, which is a surprise. He's constantly moving his head, and that always gives you a chance of slipping shots that come your way.
And I suppose for Lee Blundell in the corner, having Moorcroft turn over as a professional with him, it's like a blank canvas to work with, isn't it, really? You can teach him everything that you want him to do. He hasn't got the bad habits coming into the gym.
Yeah, like you said, he can start from scratch and build him the way he wants to build him and work to his strengths.
Another round in the bag. And you can see Moorcroft's comfortable with his pace as well, which is credit to his fitness and the work he's done in the gym. And I think if I was in his corner, I'd be happy with the way things are going so far.
Yeah, they can't complain. He's sailed through the first 4 rounds, not really taken much return fire. So, as you say, if he tightens up his uppercuts, works the body more, he might be able to eke out a stoppage. If not, he's probably going to win a canter on points.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to look for the stoppage though, does he? Jack Rafferty was a bit guilty of that earlier on, and you see a few guys do this. When he just uses that jab and finds the openings and picks his shot, he looks very dangerous in there.
Round 5.
And again, it's been noticeable that referee Mark Lyson has had very little to do in this fight. They both boxed it. They both boxed clean, competitively.
And credit to Nathan Hardy as well, because he has certainly come to win tonight. He's not looking to tie up or hold or anything like that. He's trying to outbox James Moorcroft and get the job done tonight, but Moorcroft's just been a level above so far.
Yeah, I should say boxing's about levels, and Moorcroft defensively and offensively just has too much for Hardy. He's not taking too many risks as well, Moorcroft. So when a fighter like him takes risks, that's when he'll be after more serious problems. But at the minute, he's just boxing a controlled performance. And in this round, he's boxed a little bit on the back foot behind the jab as well, so he's showing a bit of variety to his work.
Yeah, that jab was nice to the body. That was a little bit of variety that we haven't seen for a couple of rounds now.
Yeah, so that might be the tactic he goes with, maybe stab the jab to the body, and then he's just landed a right up to the back of the body as well, enough right hand to the body, so he may have heard what you were saying in the corner, Luke, how it's been conveyed to him.
Yeah, and Hardy just took a little breath then when that right hand landed to the body. And Moorcroft, we were saying he's punching down to the head of Hardy, but he was kind of the same shot to the body then as well. And there's that uppercut you talked about earlier landing. It was a nice short one that. He didn't telegraph it like he did the last couple that he threw.
Yeah, it's an hard punch to perfect the uppercut. That might be something they've worked on in the gym, and he's been excited about it and wanted to bring it over into the fight. But now he's tightened it up a little bit. He's had success this round, so he might realise that's the way to try and deliver the shot in future.
A nice left hook to the head as well. That lead left hook has worked for a number of guys tonight.
Yeah. Nice 1-2 there from Moorcroft, but Hardy came right back with a right hand, one of his rare successes.
Yeah, Hardy's come out with a bit more intent in this round, hasn't he? You know, he's landing a few shots of his own now, right up to the body landing a second ago.
He must know that he needs to arrest the decline. There's 30 seconds left in the round, and although he's done better than in previous rounds, it's another Moorcroft round, so his corner maybe told him to come and try and just at least do something.
Yeah, Moorcroft just got to get behind that jab again like he did earlier on.
Very low blow there, Moorcroft's complaining. Mark Licence warning either to keep them up, and they'll give Moorcroft as much of the allotted 5 minutes he needs to recuperate.
Yeah, he's struggling a little bit with that, isn't he?
Yeah, you get the protection from the cut, but any impact in that area is going to bring a tear to the eye. So, but he's taken a good 30 seconds there, and it's coming towards the end of the round, so he's going to have enough of a fifth a minute as well to get it out of his system.
And you don't often see fighters taking much time after low blows, do you? They just seem to want to get on with it.
Yeah, it might be a bravado thing.
I mean, I suppose the best thing is you get to punch the guy in the face that just did it to you.
We've seen the replays there, more of the same from Moorcroft. Takes a right hand, but he's kind of leaning away from the shot, which is a nice subtle little defensive move. And there it was, a right upcut within range with a shorter arc than the ones he was trying, the Hollywood style punches he was trying before.
Yeah, Hardy's an awkward fighter to fight, isn't he? The technique's not there from the gym. It is, a lot of the shots are wild, but sometimes they're the most dangerous shots. Ones you haven't practiced blocking and slipping.
Yeah, and there's no way to slip a punch to the testicles, so Moorcroft did the right thing, took a couple of seconds to get his wind back, and then had a nice sit down in the corner. They say you can't put muscles on the chin, but I'd say there's two other places where you can't put muscles. And if you did, it'd look very strange indeed.
I think we'll leave that one there before we get too much detail. Nice shot to the body from Moorcroft. That's what we've been calling for, stabbing that shot downstairs.
And it might be ironic for that low blow he took at the end of the round, just reminded him to get his own body punching back into the equation. And sometimes you need these little reminders in a fight. You can sometimes cruise a little bit. If the jab was working for him with the right hand, he may have just forgot that he was doing well with the body shots in the first, second and third round. He tried to pick a counter right hand there, Moorcroft. Maybe got a little bit too clever and got clipped.
Yeah, and we talked about that cut that happened early on in the first round. It's just started to bleed again. Above Hardy's left eye.
In the red corner there, Moorcroft landed a nice little left uppercut and then threw in a right uppercut as well, which clipped Hardy.
Oh, nice right hand over the top again.
And the cut is right above the eye as well, so maybe he's going to make a concerted effort to work it and try and force the stoppage by that means.
Yeah, Mark Licence looked a bit worried about it when it happened in the first round. You know, it hasn't caused any problems yet, but if that opens up above the eye, it's the worst place you can get it. Moorcroft's just still landing the classier shots, isn't he?
Yeah, he's landing the much better punches, the cleaner punches. The punches you're going to remember after the fight when totting up your scorecard and thinking about who won the fight.
Yeah, he's showing different things to his game as well.
He went with that right uppercut there and really looped it through and kind of put a bit of a flourish on it.
Oh, nice right hand again. There's a lot of power behind that right hand from Moorcroft. We saw it earlier on, and he's still throwing it with some venom.
Yeah, and I think Mark Licence trying to get a good angle to have a quick look at that cut. It's not throwing down blood, but it's not a good one.
These shots just seems to be having a little bit more of an impact on Hardy. He's just stepped the work rate up, hasn't he?
Yeah, and there you go with the body shots again. Right up to the body, left up to the body as well. A time when Hardy might be feeling a bit sorry for himself.
He wants to set those shots up again though, Moorcroft. That was a nice right hook to the body. You know, maybe Hardy's starting to feel those body shots from the earlier rounds now.
Yeah, Hardy landed a little right hand to the head in the midst for that, but he's getting slowly dismantled and beaten up. And Moorcroft started to realise that the uppercut shot and the inside is a punch that is there for him, as well as the body shots and targeting that cut.
Yeah, Hardy's one of these guys that he always looks like he's hurt with his facial expression, but even after that knockdown, he recovered well, and that was a decent round for him. He took a lot of shots, but he landed a few of his own as well.
Yeah, as you say, he tried to throw his own shots in that round. When the blood started to flow, he may be worried about the referee taking a closer look, so I thought I need to start giving the referee some of my own input for him to consider as well.
Yeah, and he's certainly earned his money tonight, Nathan Hardy. He's not just come to roll over, going into round 7 now. He's worked hard tonight, and he's made James Moorcroft work every second of every round to win these rounds. And although for me Moorcroft's won every round, it's not been easy for him.
And because the cut happened quite early in the fight, the bleeding was stemmed earlier in the fight, so he's going to open and dribble a little bit occasionally, but they've kind of done a good job of managing that cut. Moorcroft really seems to make a concerted effort to target in that round, so maybe he'll try and do more of the same in round 7 and particularly 8.
Round 7.
Here we go then with the penultimate round of this one. And Moorcroft can see the finishing line now. He's won every round for me, and I think most people in the venue. But he's got to get the job done. He can't switch off now. That's nice work behind the jab, and then the right hand coming over the top. And again.
Yeah, and he just gave a little shout of appreciation to himself, Moorcroft there. I think he's enjoying himself now.
He just tried to do the Billy Joe Saunders, didn't he, Moorcroft? And he deserved a little uppercut from Hardy that he got back for that.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to try. Maybe a little bit of full confidence there from Moorcroft. He just needs to concentrate on what he was doing prior to that.
I'm sure he'll get some stick for it anyway.
This is solid right hands to the head.
Yeah, better that from Moorcroft. Not getting carried away, just picking his shots again. And really punching down.
Again, solid left hook to the body that he worked on by throwing the right hand first.
Yeah, we've talked about it all night, but setting up the shots is the most important part. That right hand just allowed the left hook to come round the side of the body.
Yeah, as you say, you've got to set up the right shots at the right time. It's almost like a director and cinematographer setting up a scene. Everything's got to be spot on and perfect in order to land those perfect shots. The clean shots that will bring about the stoppages.
And Nathan Hardy just working in southpaw now, giving Moorcroft something else to think about.
And he might think he might be ready to protect that cut, but he takes a right hand as well, so he's at the moment I don't think he knows which stance to adopt.
Yeah, it was clever from Moorcroft a moment ago. He just pulled down the lead hand of Hardy so he could chop that right hand over the top. Just resting that lead hand on the shoulder with Hardy in that southpaw stance and then chopping down over the top of it with the right.
Good job from Hardy there, but again it's very little and it's kind of like fighting against the onrushing tide.
Yeah, I like how Moorcroft hasn't took his foot off the gas either. He's trying to win every second of every round.
Yeah, he's boxed at a brisk pace. He's looking as strong in the 7th round as he did in the 1st, and I imagine with nothing coming back in his direction and he started to take too many body shots himself, it's going to be more of the same in round 8. And in round 8 he might just come out and throw everything except the kids at him in order to try and get the stoppage.
And both men just taking a little breather, rightly so I think. It's been a real high pace this bout. For the first time Moorcroft done 8 rounds and he's doing it comfortably. That's a lovely lead left hook. Another brilliant round out for James Moorcroft, and you can see the finishing line now. One more round away.
And you'll see in the replay now some of Moorcroft's work has been, his punch picking was particularly excellent in that round, and we'll hopefully see some of that.
The referee just told him to touch gloves, and big respect to both guys for tonight. They've really battled it out.
And as you can see in the replay, Moorcroft, concentration across his face, tries to slip a jab, lands that left hook, right hand, and again pops a left hand lead of his own out through the open guard. And that's a left hook to the body that really seems to have a bit of an impact as well on Hardy.
Yeah, credit to both men.
Final round.
Yeah, Moorcroft done the right thing. He's getting behind that jab again. Just waiting for the opening to come. He doesn't want to rush his work.
Yeah, he's come out looking a bit more sprightly in this round, Hardy, maybe because he knows it's the last round and he can at least send the fans home with a good impression of him, but initially for the first 20 seconds or so he came out with a bit of purpose.
Yeah, Moorcroft just stabbing that jab in his face, just making him know that he's not going to be able to go home on a high note.
Good right hand from Hardy, but Moorcroft was dominant up until that point as well. And it just looks like Moorcroft is just allowing drawing the sting from Hardy, and he's just going to then build on that out in the final 2 minutes of the round as we approach the final 2 minutes.
That was nice work again. I think that there's another little one, a low blow in there from Hardy. Yeah, Hardy knows all the tricks of the trade. He's been in there with enough people. Oh, lovely left hook to the body, followed by a right hand straight down the middle again.
Yeah, Hardy really felt those shots.
We've called for that combination all night, and it landed again then from Moorcroft.
And I say all things being equal, we talked about the stoppage earlier on, but Hardy I think deserves to wear the final bell. He's taken some meaty shots and tried to fight back with his own, so you couldn't have any problems if he sees the final bell and sees it through. And saying that, he's even having a little go of his own, trying to throw a couple of shots in the last as the last minute comes into view. But
Nice
quickly
right
put in
hand.
his place by Moorcroft with a right hand, as you say.
Yeah, I think he'll be pretty happy with his performance tonight. He got a knockdown early on and he's boxed nicely, won every round for me so far. Barring anything dramatic, he's got the job done here.
He took a right hand there, but the fight's coming up to 30 seconds left in the round. He knows the fight's in the bag, so we can just tie him up a little bit and maybe take a step back now and try and land a couple of eye-catching shots before the final bell.
Yeah, that was quite mature from Moorcroft, that just killing the clock down in the last round. Doesn't need anything stupid.
And he finally throws that right uppercut to the stomach, and it lands because he's in close. And a big right hand to the head to finish it.
You can see Moorcroft just feeling the pace a little bit in there, but he's done enough earlier in the fight to get the win, and what a performance that is from James Moorcroft.
Yeah, that's probably the most ragged he looked there in the final round, but he did what he had to do in the round, won the round as well, and he's won pretty much every round on my card. As we see that right hand from Hardy, and Moorcroft did the right thing and just took a step back to reassess the situation and maybe hold on a little bit inside.
Yeah, he just killed that last round, didn't he? He knew he'd done enough earlier on in the fight. And I think we'll be seeing a shutout here, and James Moorcroft will have that title around his waist.
And I've got that 80-71 to Moorcroft. See what Mark Lyson comes up with on his card.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that one, Terry. It'd be hard to give Nathan Hardy any of the rounds. Maybe the last one, if you're being generous. We'll hand over to the MC Michael Pass to announce the official result and crown the challenge belt champion at welterweight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of championship boxing, here is sole arbitrator Mark Lyson's scorecard. Mr. Lyson scores the contest 80 points to 72 points for your winner. He is the new welterweight international challenge champion, still undefeated now in 7 professional contests, the pride of Wigan, James Moorcroft. Ladies and gentlemen, a fine effort as well from Nathan Hardy.
So good win for Moorcroft. He had hardly any problems in that one. And
who can we get to give it? We're going to get a prestigious person to present it. Where's John? John Evans, are you here? Can you present the belt, John? Mr. George Schofield, our esteemed cornerman, will now present the championship belt to the winner, Mr. James Moorcroft. They've well deserved it, ladies and gentlemen. They've been videoing themselves at Hay Hall in Lee Blundell's camp with Jack Doherty's old leather sofa. Back to the commentary team. Well done, guys.
There we have it then. Job done for James Moorcroft. You can see on his face how happy he is with that. It means a lot to Moorcroft to get that win, and in a few moments' time he'll be talking to John, and I'm sure we'll be able to see the emotion.
Yeah,
from winning that title.
Especially coming from the unlicensed scene, winning even though it's a minor title, I should say. He's showing it to all his fans. He's walking to every corner of the ring with it, and you can see what it means for him to win that title. There we see the knockdown in round 2. Matt Lyson must have given that as a 10-9 round and thought that Hardy did enough in the round not to get a 10-8. And there we see Hardy land a body shot as well when he had a bit of success early in the fight, but that success was just drowned out of him as the rounds ticked on.
Yeah, and I don't think Moorcroft will be too bothered about that scorecard. He's got the win. You can see what it means to him in there, posing for the photos.
And it's for his fans as well and his family. It gives him something to take to the pub or take to the gym and show to people, show to the kids in the gym as well. And it's inspiring for people to see someone do well after coming into the pro scene from the unlicensed scene. It gives people who are maybe on that scene as well some impetus to change ranks.
And he'll make his way around the ring now to speak to John Evans. We'll see what he thought about that performance.
Well, we're here with James Moorcroft. James, 14 months as a professional, that's your 7th victory. Since moving over from white collar, you've now got a professional title. Just how does it feel?
Do you know what, mate? It's absolutely fantastic. I just want to say to everybody out there, I got into the boxing game a lot later than a lot of other people. I come down a different route from everybody else. I had quite a hell of doubters saying, you'll not make it. Stuck with this guy, Lee Blundell. He always had faith in me from the day I walked through his gym. I just want to say to anybody out there who says they can't do it and people tell them they can't, just give it a go, because anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Now, I know you've given Lee a lot of praise all throughout your first 14 months, but just what has he done for you and how has he transformed you?
But better saying what's he not done for me, because this guy's there 24/7. Even when I don't want him there at 2 in the morning when he can't sleep for this fight, and he's messaging me, are you okay, what's your weight? But I tell you what, Luke Blundell as well, his son, he does me strength and conditioning. What a team we've got here, and all I want to do is strive forward and do him and all my family proud, because I've got one hell of a supporter here tonight, as you've all heard. And everybody who's bought a ticket here tonight, from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you so much, because without you lot, these shows couldn't happen.
And Lee, he must be a hell of a student to do what he's done in the last year. What's he like to work with?
It's a sponge, isn't it? It's just a sponge. Whatever he does, he takes it on board. And it's the stuff out the gym like we've said loads of times before. He leaves the gym with me after 2 hours in the morning. He goes to the other gym, does what we tell, comes back to the gym at night, 6-7 days a week, 6-7 hours a day. And he lives and breathes it. He'd give himself 2 years to see if he can make it as a professional. And I think he's proved it tonight that he's got a big future in the sport.
You've got a title belt, you've sparred with Terry Flanagan. Go on, where does it end, James? You know, what's the end here?
Wherever Lee takes me, that's where I'm going. Just before we go, I've got some people out in Turkey who's watching me tonight, so I just want to say hello to them lot, and thank you everybody who's here tonight and supporting me. Thank you.
Well done, James. We'll see you in the new season. Well done.
Thank you.